Locks Mob, and welcome to the Wednesday edition of the Locks DFS NHL Breakdown. Breaking down this DraftKings main slate on Wednesday, December 12th. We're coming off a 10-game slate on Tuesday that went well. That Landeskog McKinnon goal combination at the end really got us in there on FanDuel. And I saw y'all sending in your teams on DraftKings, and those teams looked awesome. They were all doing real well. So it was a good night. And now, we're coming off a 10-game slate where it was really hard to find value yesterday. And just going through this slate and the research that I've already done prior to making this video, the value on this specific slate is absurd. There's a lot to go around. So I think the best way to break this down sort of is to just go game by game and really touch on each team real quickly. Try and keep this video fairly short. And just so you guys have an idea of where I stand with every team since there's only 8 of them. Real quick, if you want to follow me on Twitter, @ReallyAddy, company @LocksDFS. You guys already know that. We're crushing it. Taylor has been absolutely crushing basketball. The cheat sheet method is working out, honestly, better than the original method because it's differentiating the lineups up. Not so many ties. Everyone is cashing fairly comfortably. So, and it's fun. You guys have more insight and more say on the lineups, etc., etc. So, it's going great. Go ahead and hit up locksdfs.com if you're interested. And we'll get you right. We'll get you winning in DFS. But with that being said, let's get into it. So the first game, we got Vegas at the New York Islanders. Vegas opening up at a 3.3 team total, or I should say 3.2. It has now risen to 3.3, and the Islanders dropping from 2.9 to 2.8. I'm really interested in these Vegas prices on DraftKings. You still see William Karlsson at 5.4K at the center position. But mainly at the winger position is where I'm interested. I like the price on Alex Tuch and Max Pacioretty here. They form Vegas' second line. Both of them are really high-rate shooters. They'll both be matched up against the depth lines of the Islanders, which are where we want to target. I'm assuming this first line for Vegas will see the shutdown line for the Islanders. So this will leave Pacioretty, Tuch, and Eakin, who I'm not interested in Eakin, but Pacioretty and Tuch to sort of eat on those depth lines. So I like both those guys, and they both correlate really well on the first-team power play for Vegas. If we keep on scrolling through defense for Vegas, this was really interesting to find when I was looking through this. It's weird seeing Shea Theodore here at 5.3K. I'm not entirely sure why he got this crazy price hike from where he was at 4.6 and 4 previously up to 5.3. He rarely skates over 20 minutes a game, and he's on the second-team power play. As you can see with what I have pulled up right now. But as opposed to Colin Miller, who does skate around, let's go ahead and take Theodore out of the lineup. Miller, who does skate, 22, 20. I don't remember. He might have gotten hurt in this game, but 19, 20. He skates around the same, if not a minute or two more than Shea Theodore. And he's on the first-team power play, and he shoots the puck more, yet he's only 3,900. So that seems kind of like a lock to me. If you're on Vegas, I think pairing it with Colin Miller is probably the sharpest way to go. As I talked about, not too heavy on the Islanders. Their prices are fair. We got a Beauvillier goal yesterday, and Vegas isn't as dominant of a team on the road, but I'm still not, even on a 4-game slate, I'm just not too interested. I think there's a lot of other value in these other games. Let's get into it. So, Pittsburgh, Chicago. Pittsburgh opened up at a 3.2 favorite. Chicago at 3.2 implied team total, I should say. And Chicago at 2.4. Pittsburgh as a minus 179 favorite. They've now dropped to minus 170. So slight movement coming in on Chicago, but the bigger movement is coming in on the over in this game, and I couldn't agree more. Pittsburgh has reshuffled their lines, which is the biggest news. I've been waiting on them to do this. There's no reason for Derek Brassard to be centering the third line where you can just throw him on the wing with Sidney Crosby while Patrick Hornquist is injured, of course. And that's what they did. So we got Sidney Crosby, Jake Gensel, and Derek Brassard. For that reason alone, you have a I'm jumping myself. You have a 3.6K center eligible, which is weird, but obviously he's a winger, he's a center in this. 3.6K skating with Sidney Crosby, second-team power play. Should skate around, anywhere from 16 to 18 minutes, which is elite for this price point. So I think he's just close to jam him in, close to lock him up territory. Obviously, if he's a locker now, we'll be on the members only cheat sheets. But I think locking in Brassard is a pretty sharp move on the slate. Of course, continuing with these lines, we see that Phil Kessel got dropped back down to the second line with Evgeny Malkin, which is probably where he's going to play the majority of his games this season. He's a little priced out for my liking at 7.2K. I mean, you can just get Crosby's winger at 3.6K, or you could get Jake Gensel at 6.6. If you do want to pay for Phil Kessel, there isn't a ton of options to pay up for on this slate. So if you want to pay up for Phil Kessel and kind of make him like the high price winger that you pay up for out of these top three guys, and I think that's fine. But it's probably not where I'm going to go. I'd rather pay up for some of these Calgary guys, or some guys in this late game. One more thing I should touch on in this game is that Patrick Kane, he got his price hiked back up to 7.1. He was 6.2 yesterday when I talked about him, which was like he was a jam-a-min play at that price. But now he's 7.1, but we do have a more, I should say his line for today is something I like a lot more than I did yesterday when he was projected to skate with Kampf and Cahoon. I'm not sure if that is what happened, but at least now he's skating with Patrick Kane, Dylan Strome, and Alex DeBrincat, which is what I mentioned on the video, what it should have been yesterday. So Dylan Strome, he's also 3.8K skating with Patrick Kane. He skated 16 minutes last game and scored a goal. If he's going to see consistent playing time alongside Patrick Kane, that automatically puts him in play. We know Pittsburgh is a team that is apt to allowing goals in bunches, especially on the road. So I think this game, as Vegas thinks as well, should hit the over. I'd probably be tempted to take the over on 6 as well, just because I think there's going to be quite a few goals scored in this game, as in this next game as well, with Calgary versus Philadelphia. So now Calgary's gotten a bunch of price hikes. I mean, we see Gaudreau at 7.6K. We've never seen him at 7.6K. We usually see him around this range, the 6.7, the 6.4, the 7 max range. But he's 7.6, and Sean Monahan is sitting at 7.5K. Both are fine plays on what is a condensed slate. I wouldn't pay these prices on a bigger slate, but since we're only dealing with 4 games here, I think it's viable. Michael Backlund, the big news with Calgary is Michael Backlund, who serves as Calgary's checking line center when they're at home. He will be out for this game. That moves Derek Ryan up into that second line spot, centering Matthew Tkachuk and Sam Bennett. I'm not too on anyone on that line except for Tkachuk, obviously, because of his first-team power play role. But even missing Backlund's a big blow to that second line. It's a big blow to Calgary defensively, which is the reason I'm interested in some Philadelphia pieces as well for the price. This is a game that has also seen juice on the over, opened at 6, 84% of bets on the over, and we're now sitting at 6.5 team total. Not much movement on the money line, but definitely interested in what I should have said is what the point of that Backlund injury, besides letting you guys know Backlund is out, is I think this is from forcing Calgary to be more of a one-line team. That one line being Gaudreau, Lindholm, and Monahan. So I'm comfortable jamming them in if you can afford them. I'm comfortable with paying those prices for them, just because there's not a ton. There's a lot of spots on this slate, but there's not a ton of high price guys you could pay up for. So I think paying up for Gaudreau at home, where he's historically been a better player, is definitely in play. On the other side of this game for Philadelphia, I should go ahead and pull up their lines because there is something I have to show you guys. We've got Claude Giroux centering James Van Riemsdyk and Travis Konechny. Big news as far as James Van Riemsdyk price goes on DraftKings. I mean, he's 3.8K. It's a dude who's been fantasy relevant for the past 4 years in NHL DFS. I mean, since I started playing, this guy's been relevant. No matter where he's played, he shoots the puck. He's got a valuable role on that first-team power play, as you can see right here. And he's 3.8K skating with Claude Giroux. So that's probably a lock. I mean, you just kind of have to play that. He's probably going to skate 17 or so minutes. He only skated like 13 last game, but that's because they lost 7-1. But in a reasonably competitive game, he should skate around 17 minutes and should be a lock in your lineups. Moving on, Or real quick, actually, I should say Mark Giordano missed the past 2 games with a suspension. He's now back and is probably my favorite high-priced defenseman. It's up there with Chris Letang, obviously, but I think for my money, I would like Mark Giordano just a hair more. All right, cool. Let's move on to this last game. We've got Anaheim at Dallas. Anaheim is banged up. They're missing Cam Fowler. They recently got Hampus Lindholm back, but they're missing Cam Fowler. They're missing Ricard Raquel, Patrick Eves, and obviously Corey Perry. But that's been the season that's been the case all season. Their price has been brought down a bit. I'll go ahead and show you guys the lines. We have Getzlaf skating with Pontus Aberg and Andre Cassie, I guess. And Ryan Kessler centering Jacob Silverberg and Andrew Cogliano. I was reading this fun note about when Silverberg plays with all the different Anaheim centers, his numbers are overwhelmingly better when he's skating with Ryan Kessler, which he is right now. He skated 20 minutes last game, put 6 shots on net, scored a goal in the past 3 games. So he's a guy for 4,300 on DraftKings who is super, super in play. Andrej Cat, I'm like spacing on how to pronounce his name for some reason. But he's 5,500 and is one of the most like elite shot rate guys in the league. He got called up earlier in November and fired like 7 shots on net in his first game. And then after that was like 6 and then 4 or something. So he shoots the puck a lot. We can go ahead and pull up his you guys know my beef with Corsica and how slow it is to load, but we can go and pull it up and show you guys. This is how much his iCorsi 4 per 60 is over 22. So sort of a lock if he's going to be skating anywhere close to 20 minutes besides Ryan Getzlaf. So he's most definitely in play as well. On the Dallas side of this game, Sagan's price continues to be just a bit lower than we're used to seeing him at 6'9". It's a guy who usually lives around this range, the 7'8", 7'7" range. So to see a guy like that priced this cheaply versus a team that has been struggling defensively definitely puts him in play if you are paying up. And then Gavin Bayreuther is the last guy I want to talk about on Dallas. He's 3,500. He is on Dallas kind of mixed up their power plays where there is really no designated first team power play. But if you want to, because they moved Jamie Benn to the other power play, but whatever the first team power play for me is going to be the one with Tyler Seguin on it. And the important news here is that Gavin Bayreuther is skating with Tyler Seguin and Alexander Radulov on the first unit power play. So that puts him in play at 3.5K. The guys like him typically don't skate over 20, 22 minutes because coaches view them as like offensive weapons, especially on the power play with a dynamic booming shot that he has. But they don't really skate him much because they view him as defensive liabilities. Gavin Bayreuther isn't the case. He skates at least 21 minutes a game. And like I talked about, with a booming shot that he has, he is very much in play. So a ton of value on the slate. And you can really pick and choose who you want to pay up for, whether that be those Calgary top guys, whether that be maybe a Pittsburgh stack like a Evgeny Malkin, Phil Kessel stack, or a Crosby, Brassard, Gensel stack. Whether you want to pay up for Vegas' first line, they're all in great spots. Vegas' second line is for value. So I think you're really at the picking for who you want to pay up for, and I hope this video helped you guys identify some of the value that is available for us on this slate. So with that being said, thank you guys for checking out this video. If you haven't already, please do like, comment, and subscribe. It really does mean a lot, and you'll be entered into our giveaways that we run every single week. Taylor announces the winner on his NBA video on Monday, so be sure to check that out. You get entered to win a free NBA, NHL, or NFL season pass. All you have to do, like I said, is like, comment something cool on this video, and subscribe to this YouTube channel. And yeah, with that being said, hope you guys win some money tonight, and I will see you tomorrow. Peace.